Ladies and gentlemen, I am joined by the man who will compete for the Hardcore Championship next week, CM Punk. Punk, how do you feel about being voted into a title match with Vladimir Kozlov, and why the mask still? Todd, I don't give a damn about Kozlov or his pile of scraps he calls a championship. What I will say is, Randy, I have my eyes on your gold. I've beaten you, face me. And you want an answer for this mask? It's not my choice. But I'm going to get to the bottom of this, and soon. Vince, it's time you and I had a talk. First of all, why am I being made to wear this mask? My contract stated on SmackDown. I was just trying to keep my job. Second, give me Orton tonight. Non-title or whatever, I can beat him. That's Mr. McMahon to you. Now, what you need to understand is simple, really. I call the shots around here. That's your explanation. As for a match with Randy, you have yourself a match. Non-title, of course. But there's a catch. You'll find out about that later. What catch? Get out there and show me what you got, Punk. You're on. Next. You'll see that I can beat Randy. Tonight. Alrighty everybody, welcome back to SAR11 Universe. My name is Jitch, and this is Monday Night Raw. We're kicking things off with Punk versus Randy Orton. And here comes CM Punk now. Oh. Oh god. We are back here on Monday Night Raw after a surprising attack from Randy Orton and the Raw General Manager.
From Hollywood, California, weighing 252 pounds, David A-List Otunga.
Earlier in the night, before the show had started, CM Punk was filmed backstage being asked in an interview what he thought about his match with Vladimir Kozlov next week for the Hardcore Championship. That you guys had voted him into, that's set to take place on the final Raw of Season 1 between CM Punk and Kozlov. He wanted Randy Orton tonight. He was told he'd get to fight him in the opening match and that there'd be a catch. And we've just seen what just happened. I don't really know what to make of all of this. I guess the boss really likes Randy Orton. Well, I've been informed that the catch that was being referenced was the fact that CM Punk will get to face Randy Orton tonight, but he'll be facing him in a 2-on-3 handicap match. It's going to be CM Punk teaming up with Kane, who will be forced to compete despite losing his mask. And they're going to go up against all three members of the Legacy in our main event tonight. Well, our semi-main event. We've already got our main event confirmed. That's Batista going one-on-one with Edge for a shot at Randy Orton. Just a moment. I think my microphone sounds like shit. It's just really loud and clippy. Oh boy. So we got a US title contenders match kicking things off between Dolph Ziggler and David Otunga. One of these two is going to get Justin Gabriel one-on-one for the United States Championship at the next event. Both have a little history with Justin Gabriel. Both, I think, would really like an opportunity at the United States Championship. We saw that Dolph Ziggler actually teamed up with Tyson Kidd to try and get a title shot. That didn't really work in his favor very well, but he actually teamed with Tyson Kidd to try and continue that momentum against Justin Gabriel. I'm going to take these headphones off now. I just wanted to quickly monitor it, so sorry about the noises. But put the headphones on, I can hear through them what the audio actually sounds like, and it doesn't sound like there's anything wrong. It just sounds like maybe it's turned up a little too high, which I'll have to fix in the future. I can't really do anything about that right this minute. This is the second to last show of Raw for Season 1. We're coming really close to Extreme Rules. As I say, we've only got one more Raw left before we move on to a new era with a whole load of new signees. Apparently, roughly 20 to 40-ish people have been scouted. So there's going to be quite a few new names appearing on brands in the coming future. They'll be debuting if and when necessary, not all at once.
You're tuned into Monday Night Raw live and in high definition.
Ziggler.
He's in big trouble.
Dolph would really like to get that US title shot against Justin Gabriel. He has come here to Raw and he has really redeemed himself from the person that he was on SmackDown not that long ago. Justin Gabriel's first title defense will come at Extreme Rules. And it's going to be between one of these two. And of course, with Justin Gabriel being the United States Champion, he gets to call the shots, and he's said that he's going to defend his US title in the same type of match that he won it in. So it's going to be a ladder match at Extreme Rules between Justin Gabriel and whoever wins this matchup. We do still have quite a few stipulations to be confirmed. Randy Orton and the #1 contender for the World Heavyweight title, they'll be announcing next week what title match or what kind of a match they're going to be competing in. We've also got the WWE Championship match over on SmackDown between The Undertaker and Christian, which will be doing the exact same thing. I just can't get over the shocking actions that we saw earlier in the night. We've never seen an authority figure lay their hands on one of their superstars like Vince McMahon just did to CM Punk. Oh. Dolph almost got a bit of a naughty victory there. Whatever it takes to beat David Otunga and get that US title shot, I suppose. And that again. Consistently trying. Pinfall after pinfall attempt.
Great counter. Ziggler has the headlock.
Going for a cross arm breaker. I don't know if he's done enough damage to the arms of Otunga to try and get this submission victory.
What's going to happen now? I'm scared to ask. Oh, what an elbow drop. And you're watching the longest running weekly episodic television show in history.
Realistically, it was going to come down to these two to compete to see who would get an opportunity for the United States Championship. We've been told that this week on ECW, you're going to want to tune in for this one. We've got a World Tag Team Championship match. The Raw Tag Team Champion Sheamus and Drew McIntyre going over to ECW this week to... Wow. Okay. Going over to ECW this week to defend their World Tag Team Championships against a tag team from Raw. And it will be Dolph Ziggler against Justin Gabriel in a ladder match for the United States Championship next Sunday. In the season finale. That was a very dominating performance by Dolph Ziggler as he continues to pick up momentum on the Raw brand, something he really couldn't achieve on the SmackDown brand. So well done to Dolph Ziggler for a well-earned victory. And yeah, I suppose we'll move on to the next match. Whatever that may be. Okay, the women's division of Raw all set to compete in a four-way match to determine who will face Michelle McCool.
Introducing first, from Scottsdale, Arizona, Brie Bella.
So first up, of course, we got Brie Bella. Not really much to say. I mean, when you look at the statistics and the the history of everyone involved in this match, it's a hands-down winner for who should be facing Michelle McCool for the Women's Championship. But whether or not she can actually win this match, I guess, is basically what it comes down to. I don't know. Vince McMahon, everybody. Vince McMahon. So, yeah, there's 0-2 is Brie Bella's track record, for anyone curious.
And her opponent from Ponte Vedra, Florida, Alicia Fox.
As for Alicia Fox, she is 2-2. So that's kind of the win-loss records that we're going for so far. You know, I'll give Alicia Fox one thing over Brie Bella. She has at least won matches before, so that's good. Congratulations and stuff. Said before, I think we have a very clear contender for the Women's Championship already, but I don't know.
And their opponent from Scottsdale, Arizona,
Nikki Bella joins Brie Bella in also being 0-2 in her win-loss record. I believe this is actually her Raw debut. I don't think she'd actually competed on Raw yet, so welcome and stuff, I guess. We hope you'll enjoy your stay. Maybe you'll pick up a win more than you were already picking up, which is 1. Yep. And finally, in my opinion, the definite contender for the Women's Championship already. This match is unnecessary. Takes a little longer to load.
and their opponent from the United Kingdom, the Scorpion.
Tiny Shiny. 3-1 in the win-loss record, outdoing all 3 opponents in this match. I wonder how she measures up in terms of win-loss to Michelle McCool, actually. That could be interesting. Michelle McCool is 4-4, so she's got the better win-loss ratio, 75% over 50%. She's just competed in less matches. Oh, excuse me. Still to come up next, we've got a very interesting match, a 2-on-3 handicap match, which will see the Legacy going 2-on-3 against the combination of CM Punk and Kane. A really, really unusual combination. You got one man who was unmasked against his will last week on Raw. The Legacy 3-on-1 attacked Kane, took his mask and ran. And you've got one man who's being forced to wear a mask against his will. And he's fighting now because he's being a little screwed. And they both want to get their hands on the Legacy. They both want to get their hands on Randy Orton. But I'm starting to think there's a bit of a conspiracy here on Raw. And Mr. McMahon hasn't quite been as unbiased as a boss as I think people would have preferred. This is an elimination match for the record. If it wasn't obvious, this is a 4-way elimination match. It's going to come down to whoever the final 2 are before we finally actually are able to determine who will be fighting Michelle McCool for the Women's Championship at Extreme Rules. One thing I think we can all look forward to in Season 2 of this universe will be seeing some new contenders, some new faces arrive, I meant to say, on the Raw brand. I think it's safe to say that any new women that come to the series, I think it's quite safe to say they're gonna need to go to Raw, because SmackDown's already got quite a strong-ish roster in comparison. You know, Raw's got the Bella Twins, Michelle McCool, Tiny Shiny, and Alicia Fox. It's only got 5. And 2 of the 5 are a tag team that are twins. SmackDown's got Beth Phoenix, Eve, Kelly, Layla, Maurice, and Natalia. I think it's safe to say which one could really use an injection of new people on top. But whether or not that happens is to be determined. I'm just saying what I'd prefer. Nikki Bella almost got eliminated by Alicia Fox with that roll-up. I think if Tiny Shiny loses this match, I am going to go ahead and say she got screwed. She should have already been a contender for Michelle McCool's Women's Championship.
These superstars are so unpredictable. I'm having a hard time figuring out what they're going
Well,
to
it's
do
good to know that the Bella Twins will actually fight each other too.
Watch out here. Oh man, did you hear that?
Gotta throw that sisterhood out the window for a title opportunity. You gotta throw everything out the window when it comes to a title opportunity. If Drew McIntyre and Sheamus went up against each other, Sheamus would have to try his best to end McIntyre's undefeated streak if it meant he was getting a world title shot. That's just common sense. Kind of surprised we haven't seen any eliminations in this match yet. I was expecting this to be a little bit more fast-paced. Big bulldog from, I think, Nikki Bella. I'm pretty sure Bree's the one with the flower in her hair and the black trousers. At least Tiny Shiny didn't submit. I really don't want her to at least be the first to go if she does end up losing. Like, I don't want her to be the first. I'm saying it now. If Tiny Shiny doesn't win this, then Alicia Fox has got to win this. The Bella Twins do not deserve to be in this match. This could have just been a one-on-one contenders match between Alicia Fox and Tiny Shiny. I mean, they're the ones that have actually won matches. Why should your first ever win guarantee you a title shot? Uh-oh. Don't do it. Don't do it. Good. Now you can do that. Go for it. What? Why'd you do that?
And there's the elbow. Oh, she does it again. Ooh. And the Scorpion
Just kind of watching, waiting for an elimination now. Yep, still to come. 2-on-3. Kane and CM Punk teaming up against the Legacy, as well as our main event, which will pit the. Sorry, I'm having a brain fart. Which will pit the two potential contenders, Batista and Edge, up against each other one-on-one to determine who will face Randy Orton at Extreme Rules for the World Heavyweight Championship. And knowing Vince McMahon, I think Randy Orton's going to get to choose the stipulation. Well, there goes Nikki Bella at the hands of Brie Bella. It couldn't have been a better way to eliminate someone, I suppose. I'd pin her off of that headbutt. Nope, okay.
Alicia Fox into the headlock. Get ready, folks. Get ready.
Very good. Alicia Fox just laying everybody out.
And the Scorpion fires back. That'll do some damage.
The Scorpion. Uh-oh. Wrong target. No. No, you don't need to do that.
Oh, the elbow.
Focus on Brie. Don't stand her up.
She's going for it.
No, don't do the backbreaker. Don't let Brie steal your pin. Break it up.
2, 3.
Oh.
And the Scorpion gets squashed. Oh.
Come on, Alicia Fox. I know you fucked up and you helped eliminate Tiny Shiny, but Brie Bella cannot be a contender for the Women's Championship. She doesn't even wear a wrestling outfit.
This is still anyone's match to win.
She's wearing a rolled up t-shirt. She's got a flower in her hair.
Big kick echoing around the arena.
I'm not liking this. I'm not a fan. No. No. Mm-mm.
An elbow drop.
Stop it.
Telegraphed, and Alicia comes up with a counter. Alicia has some attitude.
Okay.
Vicious shot.
I don't like this. Stop. Okay, good. No.
Watch it. Hey, Michael, does that remind you of your last date?
I'll tell you what, Brie Bella wins. She only won through outlasting everyone. Michelle McCool is in for a very easy title defense. Tiny Shiny and Michelle McCool will face off one day for the title. Maybe not today, maybe not next Sunday, but they will. This match can honestly, like, any time you want to end it, you go for it.
A swift kick. Alicia Fox controlling the head. That was a ton of velocity. What a fierce.
I don't know what's gotten into this crowd, everybody. I'm sorry on behalf of them.
A vicious elbow drop delivered with a lot of force. Hey!
No. Don't say hey.
Facial features, that's for sure.
If you're gonna make Brie Bella win, just get it over with already.
We got a cover.
Yeah, just like finish it. Yeah, there you go.
And that's the match.
Okay, so Brie Bella is unfortunately the #1 contender for the Women's Championship. That's alright.
Here is your winner,
Doesn't mean she'll win anything. But, yeah. Her first ever win is a title shot. Of course it is.
Elimination battle.
That's great. McMahon's Raw, everybody. It's turning into a mess. Well, up next, we got ourselves a 2-on-3 handicap match. As CM Punk, who was brutally attacked at the start of the show, is forced to compete. And he's going to be teaming up with Kane to face all 3 members of the Legacy in a 3-on-1 handicap match. And Vince McMahon said there was a catch to this match earlier on. He said he will face Randy Orton. He said there will be a catch, though. He never mentioned what it was. Maybe we'll find out what that is soon. Okay, well, for the second time tonight, Punk is making his entrance.
is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, from Chicago, weighing 222 pounds,
If I were Punk, I would be watching my back like crazy the whole way down the ring. Interesting to discover that the reason he was wearing that mask in his match with Batista 2 weeks ago isn't by choice. He was made to. What this all boils down to, why this is the way that Punk is being treated here on Raw, I don't know. But for the first time in his career, I'm actually kind of feeling a little bad for the guy. And here is a very different side of Kane.
his partner, weighing 323 pounds,
Kane was, you know, he had his mask stolen from him. This is a version of Kane we've never seen before. A very, very different sight indeed. But not one that was done by choice. Forced into not wearing his mask, just the same as CM Punk has been forced into wearing his. Two people that seem to just be victims of Vince McMahon or the Legacy, or both. Well, we know Punk's definitely a victim of both. What we don't know is how far this goes for Kane.
and their opponents, the World Heavyweight Champion, Randy Orton, DiBiase, and Cody Rhodes.
Oh, there they are. Your group, the Legacy. with the World Heavyweight Championship in tow. Something that CM Punk wants a shot at, but most importantly, he wants to just prove that he can beat Randy again, because ever since he lost to Randy in their little feud they had back on SmackDown at the very beginning, his career's gone violently downhill, and I think he just really wants to prove to himself and to everybody else that he can actually be the guy that was beating Randy Orton at the very beginning again. CM Punk has a win-loss record of 5-14. He could really, really use this match. Teaming up with someone like Kane with an 8-6 might help him, but when you consider that they're up against Randy Orton, who has an 11-4, as well as his two tag team partners, Ted DiBiase, who has 8-4, and Cody Rhodes, who has a win-loss record of 8-6, it's definitely looking like it's going to be in the favor of the Legacy, as well as them being outnumbering in this situation. The Legacy as a group, whether that be tag team or trio, are actually 5-1 in their win-loss record. They've only ever lost one time, and I believe that's when they were a tag team. They've never lost when Randy Orton's been involved.
And up the turnbuckle goes Rhodes. Oh my gosh!
Kane, very nice. I've been told that this match has a bit of a catch to it. There's not actually been any mention of what that catch is.
CM Punk, the so-called choice of a new generation.
But, here we are, watching as CM Punk tries his best to outsmart and defeat the Legacy.
Punk from behind. He's got it. Perfect Russian leg sweep.
Admittedly, this is a tag 2-on-3, which definitely does help in the favor of CM Punk and Kane. And Punk making the tag out to the Big Red Machine, the former United States Champion. McMahon's clearly had an issue with Kane ever since he inserted himself into the WWE Championship hunt back at Elimination Chamber. He was not supposed to be in that Battle Royal. It was supposed to be Mark Henry. He ended up winning, getting a shot at the WWE title, screwed out of his United States Championship, and he's just continued to be screwed around with ever since. Very, very clearly. Oh, God. Cody Rhodes. I think Punk and Kane might actually win this. Oh, no, there's Randy Orton. Make sure that doesn't happen that quick and easily. This is about the last place that any person wants to be when they're up against the Legacy in a 3-on-1 situation with both members to back up the one in the ring.
Let me tell you what a rotten kid Cody Rhodes was growing up. When he was 8 years old, he told his mom he wanted a dog for Christmas. And she said, no, you'll have turkey like everybody else.
Cody and Ted originally formed the Legacy very early into the series. As just a tag team between the two, but they found this allegiance with Randy Orton, who is also a second/third generation wrestler like themselves.
He's got him covered.
Kind of the point of the Legacy, born with a silver spoon.
Did you hear that? And he sends him flying to the outside.
And CM Punk just bringing it to the Legacy, who are surprisingly not getting involved in this fight on the outside. Something that I definitely expected that they would.
CM Punk tells him that he is the world's role model. He says that he can lead you to the promised land, too. And if DiBiase was never in a car accident, he was there.
I don't know what Punk's looking to do here. He said that the match had some kind of a catch. Maybe he's looking to try and get Ted counted out. Well, I gotta say, so far Punk and Kane, they've worked well as a team and they've managed to control the Legacy incredibly well.
But I'd warn that stepping in the ring against Punk is plenty bad for your health. Punk has the headlock. He's got him hooked.
Big suplex into a pin on Ted. Randy Orton's still very much 100% in this match. That is the guy that both Kane and CM Punk have got their intentions very strongly focused on, I'd imagine. That's exactly why I'd imagine that Randy Orton is making sure he stays out of the ring for as long as possible. And there's a go to sleep to Ted. Okay. Kane and Punk kind of button heads there. I don't think they quite communicate with each other too well, if there's actually been any communication. Oh, wow! Hang on, what? Oh. I guess this is an elimination match.
He's in big trouble. A textbook suplex. Punk makes the cover. And Orton kicks out.
Very, very strange turn of events. I didn't quite expect this.
Well, he's Raw's newest acquisition. I know what he's done in the past, and it'll be exciting to see if that success translates here on Monday Night Raw.
Well, I think this has definitely thrown this match completely off guard. I think CM Punk and Kane thought that they had a victory over the Legacy right there and then, and now suddenly this match is still going, and in comes Kane, who was victimized by the Legacy 3-on-1 backstage last week. He's got a lot on his mind, I'd imagine, and Randy Orton is in a world of pain now.
It's the demented psyche of the big red machine. He looks like a cat playing with his dinner. Oh, just driving his hands into the throat.
Say it. This is almost like an unhinged version of Kane in a way. They might have unleashed a bigger monster by removing whatever was, you know, slowing him down, concealing him. He may now just be worse than ever. That mask could have been their saving grace.
Vintage Kane.
Things really not looking up for the Legacy right now. I don't know what's happened. This combination of Kane and Punk seems to be working extremely well.
Look at the power of Kane.
Kane has just pinned the World Heavyweight Champion. I don't know if this will be enough. Yes!
Killer's done for.
Cody Rhodes, like a wounded dog, just walking around,
Power has got to be intimidating.
hands on his midsection, looking terrified. He's got to fight Kane and Punk 2-on-1. This has completely gone against what the Legacy had in mind.
Screaming in pain. Cody goes behind.
Just goes to show you don't mess with someone like Kane.
Ow! You'll be feeling that in the morning.
Big drop kick across the face of Cody Rhodes. Kane now goes over to the corner.
Tags out.
CM Punk.
And Punk gets him off his feet.
Oh,
GTS.
DTS actually connecting.
Hook knee.
Cody Rhodes has been pinned.
There. 1, 2.
And Punk and Kane have beaten the Legacy. Well, I don't think this has gone the way that McMahon or the Legacy expected. After everything they've done to these two.
And there you have it. In a big
Wow.
elimination contest. And in the end,
Really, really not what we were expecting to see in this one. The Legacy suffering a loss, and maybe Punk has a point in saying that he deserves a shot against Randy Orton. Well, there was some kind of twist that McMahon said he had in mind, but we never really saw it other than, you know, maybe the elimination stipulation. That sounds really weird. I don't know if I got that right the first time. But, I've been told that whatever McMahon's plans were, we'll hear what those are on ECW this Thursday. So look forward to a rare appearance from the ECW General Manager, Mr. McMahon, this Thursday on ECW, I suppose. Now up next, we're going to find out who's going to face Randy Orton for the World Heavyweight Championship. Frankly, I think it should be Kane. He just pinned him.
You think you know me?
Alright, well, main event time now. Time to see who's going to be the next contender, I guess. I think either one of these two could be. But when you talk about stats, there's definitely one that's more favorable than the other.
Approaching the ring from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, weighing
Well, Edge is currently 3-7 in his win-loss record, for those that don't know. Whereas Batista is 7-4. It definitely reads in the favor of Batista. It can't not read in the favor of Batista. However, that's not to say that Edge is down and out. He was incredible in his match against Sheamus last week on Raw. I'd never seen Edge perform so well. Batista seems a little fired up this week.
And his opponent from Washington, D.C., weighing 290 pounds, Batista.
Well, very motivated, obviously. Batista's heading on down to the ring to try and get his shot at the World Heavyweight Championship, a title that he has only just started pursuing, admittedly, but it's basically in place of something he has been pursuing since the very beginning. Batista has always felt that he deserved the WWE Championship, that he should have been the #1 guy on Raw, and really it was just one thing after another that kept stopping him from achieving that goal. He's never actually gotten a one-on-one opportunity for a world title, and I feel like if he did manage to get one, that champion would be in a lot of trouble. The only thing that I think may play into Randy Orton's favor right now, and the thing that may actually help Randy Orton survive either one of these two with the world title on the line, is the fact that for some reason we've now discovered that the Raw general manager, Mr. McMahon, has a bit of a soft spot for him. That kind of turns things around a little bit.
Edge has won nearly 50 championships in his career. That's a tremendous feat when you think about it. He almost took his head off.
So Edge and Batista really gonna give it their all in this match. I'd imagine both people extremely determined. Batista had to go through CM Punk 2 weeks ago on Raw to be here in this match tonight. Edge had to defeat one half of the World Tag Team Champions, Sheamus, last week on Raw, and that's what brought both of these two to this match here and now, where they look to go one-on-one with a man who just lost, surprisingly, in a match that advantaged himself. That might not be so bad after all.
That's what Batista is all about. Talk to us about Edge, King. Well,
Right to the eyes, and obviously both these two will stop at nothing to get that title opportunity. Both aren't particularly concerned what the fans think, what anybody thinks about them or how they got there. They're just both very fixed people on becoming a world champion.
your favorite superstar. That'll leave a mark. Batista controlling the head. From the
There
ring,
goes Edge.
and the animal is all fired up. Edge might be plotting and brash, but he can't lie. He's
Excuse me, I don't know what's up with the yawns all of a sudden. I've just got massive amounts of yawns coming through. Got more sleep than I have all week.
And the animal collapses. Batista has the headlock. And again the opponent sent flying.
Well, they can win this match by countout. It's definitely an underwhelming way to become contender for the world title, but they can if they need to.
Edge squeezing down on the head. Batista goes down hard. Oh, look out! Ladies and gentlemen, we are live here at
Right, okay, into the corner and yeah, turning him upside down, yep.
King Lawler calling the action.
Oh,
Opportunistic maneuver by Edge. Oh man! That'll cause some damage.
yeah, fucking hell, I don't know where these have come from. I swear every time I put the controller down, I'm like, I'm not going to play for a moment. I just can't stay awake. It's like, was that really all that was keeping me up, was it? The fact that I was actually, like, playing it. I just didn't really mind who won this one. I mean, obviously, I'm always going to lean in the favor of Batista. But at the moment, it just feels like he just comes up short every time, and I don't really like that. So in a way, I was kind of open to the idea of Edge maybe winning this. Not saying that, like, whoever wins this isn't going to beat Randy Orton. They very well could. It's just, I didn't like the thought of Batista potentially coming up short again. So at the moment, I just kind of want him to take a break, maybe until the next season. But if he wins it, then, you know, I'm very happy for him, and I hope he wins against Randy Orton.
What's Batista have to do to get back into this, King? Well,
Don't forget, we got a really big announcement, apparently, from Mr. McMahon regarding CM Punk and Kane.
this is our main event of the evening.
I don't really know what he plans to do, but it's going to announce something to do with the two of them on ECW. CM Punk came into McMahon's office saying that he wanted a World Heavyweight Championship opportunity. He wasn't.
Controlling the head.
Well, he didn't say he wanted a world title opportunity, my bad. He said he wanted the world champion in a non-title match.
Calculating.
And when he wasn't given it,
Always dangerous.
he was instead given a handicap match where he'd team with Kane to fight all three members. Maybe it's something to do with the fact that, you know, Punk said he wanted to prove himself against Randy. Maybe McMahon's going to say, well, you've done it. You've proved yourself. You earned that opportunity to now be in the world title match. Maybe he'll get to make it a triple threat. It'll become Randy Orton, Batista, and Punk, or maybe a four-way. Randy Orton, Batista, Punk, Kane. You know, Randy Orton, Edge, Punk. Randy Orton, Edge, Punk, Kane. Randy Orton, Edge, Kane. Randy Orton, Batista, Kane. Any one of them is a possibility.
Batista.
But it'll be very interesting to see. I mean, McMahon attacked Punk with a chair at the start of this show. Let's not forget that for a minute.
Batista somehow, with guts and heart, was able to kick
Really not let that one get swept under the rug. We have never ever seen an authority figure lay their hands on someone.
Edge controlling the arm. Edge thinking
Ever since making that WrestleMania announcement, we've noticed that McMahon has been appearing a little more
that are given to him.
here and there.
Batista has the
Almost as if he just kind of wants that spotlight.
he's got him hooked.
Over on SmackDown, you know, I think Teddy Long,
Behind that.
he's shown a lot more respect to his superstars, you know. Admittedly, he did also put his superstar in a handicap match this past Friday, but I feel it was different, you know. We knew The Miz had taken out Big Show. Everybody suspected that The Miz had taken out Big Show. We're disappointed when we found out that we were right,
The force, my God.
because there was some hope that maybe The Miz hadn't actually taken out Big Show. Maybe it was all just an act. I mean, not maybe it was all, maybe it was for real this time. Maybe it was just the boy who cried wolf, just like when he found Jericho. But no. The Miz had once again done it, and has aligned himself with Zack Ryder and John Morrison, an allegiance that we'll see more of this Friday, I'm sure. This has been very competitive between these two. It's Batista that's showing signs of hurt. As I say, Edge has kind of been on a roll since coming to Raw. I mean, we've only seen him in one match, admittedly, but he did so well against Sheamus. You can't really ignore that. Excuse me.
Batista loves to keep his opponents close, dominating them with his tremendous strength and vicious.
Edge's WrestleMania moment, I think, may have really awoken something in him. He did his damnedest to win the Tag Team Championships with Chris Jericho, and when he couldn't get the job done, he was crushed. Show Miz ended up still being the champions.
That'll do some damage. You have to wonder sometimes if Batista is overconfident. Dave does have that tendency.
Dave. Oh, it is the cover. It'd be a weird way to end it, but it could be it. Yep. We call that the SVR 11 effect, ladies and gentlemen. What a gentlemen, let's not fool
You
ourselves.
think you know me?
Well, there you go.
We knew he felt he had to win this one tonight.
Edge has managed to overcome Batista and be named the first contender for the World Heavyweight title since it came here to Raw. That is an undisputable fact. That was a clean-cut match between the two, and a clear victor in Edge was determined. No shady business, nothing funny, just a clear winner. Edge will face Randy Orton next Sunday at Extreme Rules. And what match will it be? Maybe we'll find out that on ECW as well, who knows. But for now, we're done with Raw. And it is on that note that we go to the news and the rankings. Because nothing ever happens in them, but people like to look at them for some reason. When the rankings are more detailed and broken down, I'll probably add them to the wiki rather than showing them in the videos. Maybe even like the news section, I don't know. Alicia Fox and Tiny Shiny are now enemies. Kane and Randy Orton's relationship has gotten even worse. Okie doke. Brie Bella went up 1 rank for her win. She's not even like number 1. That's kind of funny. Kane is now up 1. Dolph Ziggler is number 10, which is funny because he's actually the number 1 contender. And everyone's just down on that one because it never really shows the correct ranks because the titles are all mixed up. Okay, so on ECW this week, we will not be seeing Kane versus Jack Swagger, that is for sure. We won't be seeing Yoshitatsu versus Ezekiel Jackson. And I can't see why we'd be seeing a 6-man battle royal between Ricky Steamboat, Vladimir Kozlov, David Otunga, Nemesis, Santino Marella, and Tyson Kidd. Wow, fuck SmackDown this week, am I right? These are all Raw matches. Jeez, what did SmackDown do? Anyway, we'll see you guys in the next episode when we hear McMahon's announcement and more. Bye.